Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Chef Hala Ayash, and today we're gonna know all about soups. And we're gonna start with lentil soup. To start with the lentil soup and any soup, you need to create a nice stock, and the stock comes from the bones of the chicken. So what we need to create a nice stock is to actually make a big quantity and then store them into separate bags or like containers. Then this way it will be easy to use a healthy, nice, fresh stock without using any chemicals or like preserved stocks. And you can use it for lentil soup, for tomato soup, for any soup that needs a chicken stock. What do you need for preparing this stock is the chicken bones, and then definitely we're gonna add some herbs and flavors that makes the stock really clean. So we need onion, we need some bay leaves, cinnamon sticks. We can use some cloves, cardamom. So it depends on the flavors you prefer, but the most important things, onion, the parsley stems, and I'm gonna show you this, and definitely plenty of water. I will start by explaining all about onions. And when we go to buy the onion, we get confused which onion is for what, and what do I need to choose. And for today's recipe, starting with the stock, we need to have the small red onion. And for the lentil soup, I'm gonna use the white onion. What is the difference between these, let's say, 4 types of onion? Usually, the yellow onion or the brown onion is the nice onion for cooking. So if you're doing a rice recipe like biryani, or you're doing a kabsa or something that needs cooking, this onion is really good. For a sweeter taste and more like nice for sandwiches, or you can add it fresh, the white onion is sweet, it's nice in flavor. I can sometimes caramelize it as well, use it for burgers, for sandwiches. While the red onion in different shapes, it's somehow the same, by the way. This is Spanish, this is Indian. So the difference is that the red onion is a bit more spicier. So having it raw is gonna add a spice to the dish. Like if you're making salsa or something Mexican, then it's gonna be a bit on the spicy edge. For stocks or for boiling things, I'm just gonna use this Indian red onion. So let's prepare all the things that we're gonna add to the stock. We have the onion. We don't need to have any shape for it, just like peel the skin, and then you can wash it and cut it into big cubes to add it to the water. Okay, so after washing the onion, we're just gonna cut the roots. We don't need it in the stock. And we just do 2 halves. So this is the first thing we need. The second thing is actually creating what we call bouquet garnier. Is basically the selection of different things that will add a nice flavor to the chicken stock. So we need a rope, if you have. Then, when you buy parsley, we usually take this part to use it for salad or for garnish or for adding a flavor. But this is the part, the roots, is what makes the aroma stronger in the taste of the chicken stock. So I'm gonna take some, or if you already used the parsley, you can have this part to use for the flavor. We're gonna put some of the roots, 1 stick of cinnamon. We're gonna add some bay leaves. It's fantastic for the flavor. You can have it dry or green, whatever is available. So I'm having 2. And then we're just gonna tie everything together. This way we can just remove it when we're done with the stock. Ta-da! So this is the bouquet garnier. The onions are ready. And we can add some cloves if you have, or some black pepper. You can add some cardamom, but I'd rather just have this basic combination. Simple. We're gonna start with the bones of the chicken. So here I usually just rub it with some lemon, and I don't add salt at all. And we can keep the lemon if we want, or just actually basically remove the lemon. And we're gonna add the onions, the bouquet garnier. So we don't add any salt because we want to control the taste and the flavor with a basic stock. We are sure that it doesn't have no spices, no salt, no nothing. I'm just gonna add some cloves, because it's like 2 or 3 pieces. always be super careful with black pepper, with cloves, with cardamom. Those spices, they can overpower the taste, even for the cinnamon, and it will change the taste of the recipe later. Now I'm gonna cover it with cold water, and careful, no splashing. So we need, for this quantity, like I have the bones of 1 chicken, I will need 2 liters of this, so it means 2 of this water. I'm gonna get more, and I'm gonna start boiling this water. It takes around 30 minutes, and we're gonna start our lentil soup. After 30 minutes, and you can tell that the stock is ready by having this transparent, nice color. And of course, the color of the bones changed completely. Keep on removing all the foam that comes to the surface, because this is a flavor that we do not want to have in the stock. So now, since my stock is ready and I can start with my lentil soup, I'll show you later how to actually preserve the extra stock that we prepared. But now we're gonna do the quickest lentil soup using this aromatic, nice stock. And we're just gonna add 1 step of cooking, which is just like simmering the white onion. So I'm gonna chop half of a white onion. And today I'm gonna use the soup maker, which is my favorite tool. You just put everything in the soup maker, and you leave it for 30 minutes. I'm gonna show you how. So I'm chopping the onion. As you can see, I don't reach to the end of the onion. I did some like cuts, and now we can chop. I just want to give the onion a bit of flavor, so it can give a nice taste to the soup later. We're gonna add carrots and potato. So for the onion, I'm just gonna start with high heat, some olive oil. So it gives also the taste to the lentil soup. We're just gonna fry the white onions for a bit. So now, while the onion is sweating with the oil, one of the very important things is that never sweat the onions on very high heat, because the high heat is gonna take all the flavor and the aroma from the onion. So the best way is actually to start with low heat, and then you keep on stirring it until it's a bit glassy, like a bit transparent. That means the onion is ready. For the soup, I'm gonna I'm using the soup maker today, which is basically putting everything together. We're gonna add the chicken stock that we prepared, and the onions, lentils, carrot, potato, and some cumin and salt, and we'll leave it for 30 minutes. So let's start by cutting the carrots. I prefer to do everything in small cuts, so it would be easier to cook later. So the carrot and the potato is gonna give it the richness, and then the lentils, here I'm using the orange lentils, gonna give it this nice, healthy, clean protein. I'm gonna do the same for the potatoes, just like any random cuts. It doesn't have to be equal, because it's gonna be all smooth and blended together. So 1 carrot, half potato, or 1 potato, doesn't matter. The smell of the onion and the olive oil. Like, this lentil soup is basically the start of every Ramadan dish. And no matter how much we try to change the soup, but the lentil soup with a squeeze of lemon, with some crunchy bread, is like, it's super yummy. It's very healthy for the stomach after a long day of fasting. It's smooth, it's cozy. The smell makes me hungry. After adding the carrot and the potato, I'm gonna add 2 cups of the orange lentil. So usually what I do is I make sure my lentil is clean, and I store them in a jar on the side. 2 cups of orange lentil. And here with the soup maker, I have to make sure that I'm not exceeding the max level. I'm just gonna add now the stock, or the chicken stock that we prepared, and the onion that is already frying, then our spices. So basically, if I store the stock already, I will just use the bag as it is. Now I'm gonna show you how. Okay, now I'm gonna add the onions with the oil. Now let's start with some seasoning. So I like for the lentil soup to add cumin. It brings a nice flavor to the lentils, and of course some salt. So here we have carrots, potatoes, orange lentils, the chicken stock, some onion with olive oil, salt, and cumin powder. Do not put too much cumin powder, like just a small spoon of cumin powder. And then you can keep it optional to add a bit more while you're serving it. All I need to do now is to cover it. I'm gonna show you the difference in creating different soups. We can start. So we're doing smooth soup. It automatically creates the time, which takes only 30 minutes. Then for the speed, it's gonna be the high speed, which is number 3. And now all I need to do now is to start. I'll see you in 30 minutes. So now while we're waiting for the soup to be cooked, I'm gonna show you the way of storing the stock. And at the same time, if you're not using the soup maker, you can do it in a big pot. You just need to fry the onion, add the carrot and the potato and the lentils, add the stock and let it cook in the cooker. And then after like around 30 to 45 minutes, you can blend it with the hand blender. And then you can serve it with the seasoning, the cumin, the salt and some lemon. As for storing the stock, it's very important to use something that is certified for using a soup to put in the freezer. So here I really like this brand. It has, it's called soup and sauce bags. So it's made for any like liquid soups or sauces. I think the onion is still burning my eyes. I don't know why there's onion and I'm like blinking. So what we do is like as much as we have here, I have the stock that is already strained. So I removed all the bones and everything that was in it. My soup maker is adding some action. So we take one bag. One very important thing about storing things in the freezer is you need to add always the date, the quantity, if that makes any change to the recipe. But the date is very important because the shelf life, like we cannot use this after 2 years. So usually you can use the stock within 3 to 6 months. And by writing the date, you will remember. We can just put the month, let's say, and the year. And then this is gonna create like a base, as you can see. I'm gonna start by adding the stock inside the bag. So this would be the easiest way to actually use it, even for when we're doing risotto or if I'm doing any recipe. If I have a stock that is ready in the freezer, especially if someone wants something healthy and clean and nice on the stomach, this is like perfect. So I can do like, usually I add 5 scoops for each bag. Then you zip it. Just zip the bag. And it's ready. So now I have my stock ready to be in the freezer. The soup is almost done. And I'm just gonna add some bread. Usually for the bread to add to the soup, whatever leftovers I have, like from a toast bread or baguette or anything, I just cut them into cubes. So this is a very quick way of doing it. We can use the scissor or the knife. It's the best way of like making sure that you don't have any waste. And for any bread that is extra or like a bit dry, this is perfect. You create croutons. It works for the salad, it works for soups, it works for many recipes. Usually salads and soups, to be honest. Okay, I'm just gonna do what I have here. You can add some oregano or just like salt and black pepper. I'm gonna use my non-stick pan. Okay, some olive oil, a bit of salt, and black pepper. 5 minutes, it's gonna be golden in the oven, and then my soup is gonna be ready, and I'll show you how to present it and what's the texture after 20 minutes. smells so good. I hope you enjoyed cooking with me today, and if you liked the recipe, leave a comment and a like and tell me what would you like me to share with you for the next times. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell.